welcome to the KVJ Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes are looking sane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Okay, here we go. It is the KVJ After the Show podcast. What's up, Virginia?
What is up, Kevin?
Can't say what up to Bird. He ain't with us today again, but I'm confident that I think he's going to be here tomorrow. We got a text yesterday from him, and he's in a hospital bed in a hospital gown. I'm like, well, that's not a good sign.
No.
But apparently he got severely dehydrated by this little viral thing that he's going through, whatever it might be, and they ran all kinds of tests. They all came back positive, and the good news was when we heard from him today, sounded like he's turning a bit of a corner and he's feeling better. So that's where the optimism comes from, and knowing Bird's desire to want to be here for everybody. I think he'll do it. And it sounds like if he does have this, which how wild is it if he got this? Because I mean, right now, yeah, the numbers are growing, and they're saying that it is the worst ever case of this cyclosp or whatever the hell it is that's out there. But still, to get it, the numbers are, even the state of Michigan, where they say it's one of the worst, they've got like 3,000 cases out of how many millions of people in that state.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, you think the odds are not good still to get it.
Right.
This cyclospora is the name of it. They say that this year is the worst on record. More than 30 states have reported cases. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more, though, because I think they're now starting to figure out what it is. They're starting to diagnose it. People who probably just thought they had a flu, and they're on day 10, like Jaybird, they're going to the hospital, and they're saying, okay. But they did not say cyclospora with him. I didn't hear that at all. Did you hear them say that in anything that you got?
No, he's got to go to the intestinal tract GI doctor today.
Yeah. So
and maybe that's the guy that diagnoses it?
Maybe.
Did they not diagnose at the ER? We heard somebody say that to us earlier in a text message.
They just haven't mentioned anything about it. At least what you read.
Could he still have that thing and they won't know till he gets to the GI doctor today?
Could be. I got zero answers for you.
I don't know either, but here we are.
Yeah.
He got a good night's sleep last night, according to Honeyface.
Good.
So
he was sleeping all morning long, too, so that's great. Anytime Jaybird can get sleep, fantastic.
They also gave him IV meds to coat his stomach lining.
Okay.
And anti-nausea meds as well, on top of the IV fluids.
There is nothing worse than being nauseous.
Oh,
it is my
terrible.
least favorite feeling. It's just terrible. Yeah, I hate that. So we'll see what it was, and then maybe we can unpack. I mean, he thought maybe it was the Perkins that got him ill that he ate at.
That's some powerful perk.
Yeah.
The Perkins is still kicking your ass 12 days later? Damn.
That was the thing they were saying. They said that's what has been hard to identify, is people have felt bad, but they may not feel bad until a couple days after. It may take a little while to kick in. And so you're trying to remember. Imagine if you went back and said, Virginia, what did you eat in the last 3 days? Can you, like, right now just tell me, like, everything you ate in the last 3 days, like, no problem?
No.
Right. And they say that's part of the issue, is people are like, oh, my gosh, what did I don't know what I ate.
No, I mean, nobody keeps a food journal.
Yeah. But they're kind of, dialing in that it might be having to do with lettuce. And so Taco Bell, a place that they're like, are they getting people sick? They have pulled lettuce, cilantro, pico de gallo, and guacamole from some of their menus. And they stopped short of laying blame on Taco Bell, but they definitely laid some stank and suspicion their way that I saw on the news today. And they asked the person, is this Taco Bell? She's like, I don't want to go there just yet. But they're trying to do what they can, because Taco Bell does not want that kind of stank. That's not good for a business.
No.
Yeah, just ask Chipotle. They don't like that kind of stuff. So we'll see. So hopefully Bird will be back tomorrow. The good news, he's feeling better. Got this from Luis. He said, all righty, Kev, in terms of my predictions, it's one down and another one to go, as I've already called it. He said it played out. I said Spain was going to win. They beat France 2-0 yesterday in the World Cup. And Argentina now, I'm saying, is going to win their game. Messi and his crew are going to smack down the bloody blokes and take Kane down and send those blokes back to England. All right. He's fired up, you can tell. So he says it's going to be Argentina's Messi and Spain's Yamal with Spain taking the World Cup. Okay, so he's got Spain taking it.
Okay.
Okay, everybody throwing out their predictions. Yeah, I was a little surprised to see Spain, but then, I was reminded by the announcer on TV, I guess they were the European champions, so maybe it wasn't such a big upset that I thought. I just, after seeing Mbappe, like, that dude's pretty good. I bet he's going to be in the championship. He will not, but he will be playing in Miami on Saturday. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, to see Mbappe. He's going to be there. Now, the one thing I talked about earlier, there was a tweet that supposedly came out, and if it lands completely true, people are going to really delve into this. On July 11th, 2021, if this is legit, it's starting to go viral now. 5 years ago, somebody posted up a tweet, said, Argentina just beat Spain at the 2026 World Cup final 3-2. This is somebody that had been claiming that they were a time traveler that had come back, and they were telling us some things to try to prove it. They were having conversations with people, and they're like, all right, well, tell me something from the future. Like, okay, World Cup, just wait to see if it doesn't happen. 2026.
That's a high score.
Yeah, and they were saying that, yes, because especially Spain doesn't give up goals. That's just something that I don't know what the total is, but I remember they were saying that yesterday, like, Spain just doesn't give up goals. And for them, for it to be 3-2, that's insane. But somebody did remind me, they said if they do get to penalty kicks, they count those in the final score. So as you're looking at it, you're like, there's no way they're going to give up those kind of goals. Let's say you have a 0-0 tie, and then we wind up in penalty kicks in the World Cup final, then it could possibly easily be an Argentina 3-2 win over Spain based on penalty kicks. Who knows? If it does play out on Monday, if that's the outcome, I will be doing a lot of investigating to find out the legitimacy of this, to be like, all right, who
is this guy?
Yes.
What else has he said?
Right.
And where else should we be placing our bets for future sports predictions? Because I'll put a little money on whatever this guy says moving forward.
That's the question. But I tell you, honestly, the one thing, if there's any headline that has come out of all this stuff, is possibly the cost of this game on Saturday in Miami Gardens at Hard Rock Stadium. The ticket price has been way out of my league. Not even touching it, not sniffing it, not considering it. But what you're having is the game to see who's going to be third and fourth place. Are fans who were optimistic that their team would win the World Cup be like going, yeah, you're going to leave there going, we're number 3. We're number 3.
Possibly number 4.
Yeah, we're number 4. It's just, you start celebrating a little less and less. And then also, too, you're going to pay a little less and less money.
Sure.
Now, I got a text earlier, and somebody said I was looking at the World Cup tickets at the Hard Rock for Saturday, and section 116 for 4 tickets was only $1,800.
4 tickets?
4 tickets for $1,800. Like, you were not getting in for 1 ticket for $1,800. So, you're looking at that. Okay, because I'd said, all right, if it got to 500 or less, I would sit there and really consider, because how often, we don't get World Cups very often. It's been 1994 since we had a World Cup. A chance to do it, cross something off your bucket list, do something cool. Look, I've done some things like some games, some national championships. They're some of the fondest memories that I have. And it was more than I had, but I'd saved up and skimped and all that kind of stuff. And it was well worth it, because that money, who knows what I'd spend it on anyway. But I committed to it. I made it happen. Sure, it hurt my wallet for a minute, but the memories that I got, Virginia, of those kind of moments, I talk about them all the time. I'm like, that was a solid investment in life.
So there's 4 members that can go to this game from the Ralston family. Yeah. Who gets to go? Now, we know Colin's out of town, so he probably doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
We know the only way you're getting Cannon there is if you also bring his girlfriend. So does bringing the girlfriend cut Caitlin out of the equation? And then if so, does now Caitlin have beef with the girlfriend?
Well, Caitlin has to work.
Oh.
Her family's going to the championship on Sunday.
Oh.
But she has to work then and watch the kid as they go check out the real game that everybody wants to go to.
In Atlanta.
Yes. And my son Colin, he's in Chicago. He wouldn't come back for that.
Right.
But Cannon, he actually goes sometimes to Marlins games with his girlfriend's grandpa alone, and she doesn't go. So I think Cannon would go, just he and I. I don't know if the Queen's a huge fan of soccer, and she may be like, it's not worth it for me. So I think that maybe we could do that. Oh. So Cannon and I possibly, If we could get those rates, you're talking $4.50 a ticket.
You might have 2 Ralstons in attendance instead of 4.
I think that would make the most sense. So if we could do that, it would be $900 total for 2.
If Cannon doesn't want to go with you without his girlfriend, that shows he likes her grandfather more than you.
No, you're right. Don't think I wouldn't think that. Don't think that would totally be in my head.
But
I would be so
it's
crushed.
normal because he's a teenage boy and he's in those years.
On.
But he's in
you
those years.
You would not go with your
right?
dad, but you go with your girlfriend's grandpa to a Marlins game. And look, I do want to give love to the Marlins because they're having a great year. So I'm not trying to throw shade at the Marlins, but I mean, the Marlins have how many home games? This is a once in a lifetime experience and opportunity. This doesn't come around very often. The Marlins games do. Yeah, I'd have a problem. I would act like I wouldn't, but I'd have a problem with it.
There's more up for grabs here than just the FIFA trophy. There is the who does Cannon like better trophy.
Yeah, sure. You're right. Oh, don't think I haven't thought about that. When he's off gallivanting with Mike,
Daddy.
When he's heading off with Mike to go to Marlins games like it's nothing, and I'm throwing out all kinds of great offers. He's like, I can't
do it.
Or he just doesn't even answer me. Yeah.
Daddy may have to buy 3 tickets. Daddy may have to buy a ticket for Cannon and for the girlfriend and for himself. Just saying, prepare yourself.
I don't know if I'm going to do that. You know what? Now that we've had this conversation, I'm like, no. No, it's you and me, and that's it. You know what? Yeah, that's it. That's
the line in the sand.
That's the offer, because she's not going to like it $450 worth.
Is she going to have a Victoria Beckham face?
Yeah, you show me that where everybody in the box, her husband, her son, they're going crazy, and she's just looking in the opposite direction with no expression on her face like usual.
They just scored a goal, and she didn't even notice.
Well, that's what's so frustrating about these games is that so many tickets are wasted on people that don't care, and that's what I have an issue with. The most important games, people are going just to be seen or for the experience or to say that they did because it's the hot ticket. They don't know any of the players. They're not invested. They don't care. It means nothing to them. They'll miss the big moments. Yeah, it's really kind of messed up that that's the way it is. The biggest sporting events that you have in the world is littered with people that don't care. And the people who really do care can't even sniff or get close to this. They couldn't even afford the parking to get into the parking lot.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's completely messed up.
I'm excited now. I mean, yeah, the World Cup is interesting, but the Ralston family dynamic is even more fascinating. Will none of them go? Will any of them go?
I think
Will all of them go?
I think there is a 75% chance that no one goes.
Okay.
And I think that there is a 15% chance that 2 of us go.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then maybe the queen will be like, no, and she'll put up a bigger fight. Then I don't think she will. I think she'll be like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. That'd be my guess, but we'll see.
I can't wait to see how all of it plays out.
I'm gonna really look at it today. I mean, like I said, I got one text. I haven't confirmed it. I don't even know. I mean, what's more realistic for us is a watch party. I haven't heard yet if I'll look today, see if Amerant Bank Arena is having one. I hadn't seen that. I know they have before, but I just seen the one for Lone Depot Park. And you're right. I know what the Jumbotron looks like there. I'm not feeling that.
No, I'm not feeling that either. It might not be the best Jumbotron for this.
Yeah.
Not the same as, say, the Panthers watch party, which I went to, which was awesome.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sold on that watch party. There are some other ones. Look, there's going to be some great watch parties on Sunday. I'll try to, if anybody knows of the best ones to go for, I want to put together a good list on that. Everybody's having them because other places have had them before for games, but I want to make sure that they're going to be doing it for this. So let me know.
I got to put this on your radar too. Be wary of anybody who slides in your DMs right now offering you World Cup tickets. Yeah, some of them may be legit, but you are ripe for a scammer that's listening to this conversation. It happened to me with a scammer in KVJ Nation, and they almost got my money because they knew I wanted to go to a special certain game, and they offered me the exact amount of tickets I needed for a really great price. And then something tell me, research this person, and I did a little deep dive, and it turns out they did not have the tickets. It was all a scam. So
yeah, I'm not gonna
be careful.
I mean, if it's money, I'm not gonna exchange.
Be careful.
That way.
Is all I'm saying. When you talk about how excited you are on the radio, people think, sucker.
No, if I even try to walk down that process, my wife would be like, wait, what are you doing? She's like, you're not doing that.
Yeah, let your wife handle it because she has no emotional tie to FIFA.
Yeah, we only go with legit sources that we know we've used and everything else before.
Or if you're going to do a transaction with an individual, you got to be face to face.
I would have to know them personally.
You would have to know them personally or be recommended by somebody. And you'd have to see the ticket and have it in your hand.
Yeah. Not going to do that. So, yeah, I think there's a slim chance that I go, but where this morning I walked in here and I said there's no shot, there was no hope that I would even think about it. That text is, I have hope.
Okay, hope floats, y'all.
Hope floats. Hope's a big thing. Absolutely. You definitely got to have some hope. No doubt about it.
You got to take video of the watch party you're going to today in the bar to watch that match. Mm-hmm. That's going to be fun, too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just a regular bar, so. But, yeah, we'll see. I might grab some video if there's something special about it.
Important game.
It's an Irish bar, so they really seem to love their soccer.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched a soccer game, one World Cup years ago at O'Shea's, and they freaking go nuts. It's an Irish bar. So it was fun. Well, got an email here from Marie. She said, I heard you talking about nice celebrities. And Renee Zellweger was on the list of the celebrities you do want to meet, because that's what we were going through, is a list of the ones you do want to meet and the ones you don't want to meet, because if they are your hero, you will be disappointed and you won't like them as much. And I have had people that once upon a time were on a pedestal for me and I really liked them, and then I got to know them or know of them more, and I'm like, oh, they just, I just kind of ruined it for me.
That's sad.
Kind of like a Gene Simmons. I'm like, I just think he was like the coolest dude. And then I kind of got to him like, hey, he's a tool.
He's a douche.
He really just,
he just oozes douchery.
Yeah, I get that like feeling every time he talks.
Is there anybody that's flipped you more?
No, and I've been flipped by a few, but I think Gene Simmons is probably the most disappointing.
To go from how much you loved Kiss to now how much you think he's a douche.
When he was the coolest, when he was spitting blood and firing all that stuff, and I was a kid, I'm like, Dad, it's freaking cool. That guy's awesome. And then I got to know him, like, he's not awesome.
He's not.
But she said Renee Zellweger, I can confirm she is a sweetheart. She used to come into the restaurant I waited tables at in East Hampton in 2005. Which, by the way, have you ever been to the Hamptons?
Yeah.
I have not, because the only one time when I worked in New York, we were heading to the Hamptons. I can't remember what it was for. It doesn't even make sense that we were going, but we were on the Long Island Expressway, I think, heading out there, and I was in that freaking lime green Pinto we had for the radio station. It was a station vehicle, and the thing was unsafe already. It didn't have a radio in it, oddly enough, for a radio station vehicle, but it had the cables that were sticking out of it. And if you're sitting there with your shorts on, the wire that was still supposed to be charging the radio would catch your leg and shock the shit out of you.
Oh, no.
So as I'm driving along in this stupid lime green Pinto, it'd be, ow, son of a bitch. And it's like a long-ass drive. It's like 3 hours or something like that to go from the city to the Hamptons.
And then if you hit traffic.
Yeah. So they said, hey, you get to go to the Hamptons, whatever the event was going to be. I'm like, absolutely, let's go. And I'm sitting there getting shocked to death in this stupid lime green Pinto.
But
and
it's
I'm getting
worth
excited.
it.
We were about 90 minutes into the trip, so we're far enough away. And then all of a sudden, smoke starts coming out of the hood. I'm like, well, that's not good. Then flames start coming out of the hood. I'm like, well, that's even worse. And we pulled off to the side of the road. The whole thing catches on fire. It was the last time that lime green Pinto ever took to the road.
Wow.
I was in it. They had to come pick us up, and they're like, we're not driving all the rest of the way to the Hamptons. So it's off. And then we turned around and went back to the city. I never made it.
Aww.
And my daughter has to go there for work. And so she sent me, she had us on FaceTime. I was looking, it's a quaint little town.
It's
beautiful.
charming.
I'm like, my gosh, that's lovely.
It's not built up. It's not like big and huge. It's charming and quaint and kind of understated for how wealthy it is.
It was. They're like in a little cottage.
Yeah.
She showed me around that. I'm like, that's just so quaint and beautiful. It's nice. So I didn't know anything about, Montauk, East Hampton, all the Southampton, I guess, is those little areas out there. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess I see why rich people go there. It says, Renee Zellweger was always so happy and bubbly, just a really genuinely nice person. I didn't mind waiting as it was always crazy busy, and she'd always ask me how my night was going. So she was just lovely. And that is kind of nice when somebody takes the time to ask somebody who can't do anything for them how they're doing, and they actually seem to care.
Yes.
She said Paul McCartney also would come in. Very chill. And I had a lunch shift bartending, and he would come in a lot. I didn't know who he was. And I would sit there and talk to him, have these great normal conversations. And then one time he left, and my coworker's like, "You have no idea who that is, do you?" Like, "No." And they're like, "Paul McCartney." I'm like, "Who?" Like, the Beatles? Like, "Oh, okay, I think I've heard of the Beatles." She was 21 at the time, so wasn't even on her radar.
Huh.
Wow, no, but that's cool. He seems like he would be cool. I'm not surprised Paul McCartney would be that way.
Yeah, but I also could see him like, okay, I got to keep it moving. I'm Paul McCartney. Everybody stops that cat.
Yeah, but when you go into situations like that, like Palm Beach, sometimes it's a little bit more chill. You have communities like that where they expect to have a lot of celebrities or rich people, and the people in that community, Palm Beach kind of showed me that they're like, we don't. No, this is a place where they come and they're allowed to be comfortable. So you don't flip out on celebrities. You don't act like a fool. The paparazzi gets chased out of this place. You're not welcome. Like, this is a place where they get to actually be a human and decompress. And I think maybe the Hamptons, Palm Beach, some of those towns are a little bit more like that. That's probably why they go there.
Gotcha.
It's because they don't get hassled.
Yeah.
They can go in a diner and eat, and because they would pull you aside and be like, "We don't do that here." Like, you would lose your job, or they'd run you out of town if you did that kind of stuff. Now, I got an email from Amanda who said, "I was listening to the segment on name changes, and holy shit, I am so glad I was able to change my maiden name. It was Woolsifer."
Woolsifer?
Woolsifer. Wolsefer. She phonetically put it. It would be Woolsifer. Imagine my surprise when a kid and a camp counselor kept shouting out, "She's Amanda, and if you sit next to her, you will suffer." So that's what everybody did with her name. She hated Woolsifer. Oh. She went to Autry. She said I lucked out. She liked Autry a lot better.
Autry is better, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some people have upgraded. And a question from Emmy in Tequesta. She said, "How do you pronounce?" I know this is random, but I work with a guy who says Boca Raton.
Raton.
Accentuating the T-O-N, Boca Raton. How do you actually say it? Yeah, that's one of those things where you can tell after I was here for a while. I think probably when I got to town, I was saying Boca Raton. I think a lot of people do. And like I said, we were running a commercial not too long ago, and the girl's like, "Just come into Boca Raton today." And I'm like, you can tell she's in New York or wherever, like cutting this commercial and has no idea. But yeah, if you're down here, it's Boca Raton. Like, I don't think there's any argument that is the correct way to pronounce that town.
And when you hear it said wrong, it stands out.
Yeah, Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Yes, it's tone, not ton, not ton, tone. So, yeah, I think there's no debate on that.
Raton is the furniture you see in Boca Raton.
Right. Exactly. Got an email from Rita who said, "I know Kevin and Virginia are solid in their faith, but as an agnostic, I just don't know what I believe. But a recent experience has me questioning everything," she says here.
Tell us more.
Said, "I have an older sister who's in her late 30s, and back in 2019, she suffered cardiac arrest.
Oh, my.
She went on this machine for months, essentially brought back from the other side. She was sent home. She then suffered a stroke and had heart problems her entire life."
Jeez.
And basically, we got to the point where, yeah, you have got to, get a heart transplant, or this is not going to end well for you. And so they put her on the list for a heart transplant 24 days ago. My sister was admitted to the hospital again with heart conditions and was not allowed to leave until she gets the heart transplant.
Oh, wow. She's there.
And we know what medically a lot of things need to line up for an organ donation.
Oh, my gosh. And the heart, that is very tricky.
So the wait for an organ, especially a heart, could be long. Then on July 13th in the evening, I was chatting with a close friend who is a woman of faith. And my sister came up in conversation, and I told my friend about her health status. Well, then the following day, that morning, my friend sends me an excerpt from her Bible study, and it basically says that God is always with you.
This is yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it specifically references Ezekiel. Now, I think what she's probably talking about would be Ezekiel 34:12 that says, "As a shepherd looks after his scattered flock, when he is with them, so will I look after my sheep. I will rescue them from all the places where they were scattered on a day of clouds and darkness." And she said 9 minutes after our text exchange, my sister calls me and tells me that she is getting a heart.
Wow.
After she had kind of pumped me up and made me feel good about that. And evidently in the Bible, the number 9 signifies divine closeness and finality. So I called my friend and we both sobbed on the phone. My sister said that her friend, who has a shy little boy, was waving at her when they did a FaceTime call. And I said, oh, what's his name? She said, Ezekiel.
Whoa.
She's like, okay. So look, I mean, that to me was kind of an odd coincidence that it all kind of happened the way that it did. And then the boy's name was Ezekiel. And I was like, whoa, I still don't know what I believe, but I'd like to think that this was divine intervention. My sister was taken into surgery at 2 a.m. for her new heart. So congratulations to your sister. I mean, that's an amazing story.
We are praying for your family.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But yeah, I mean, look, for me, I know that having faith is not for everybody, but I do because I think a lot of it's hedging bets. And it is very comforting. And the thing that I love about it is a good guidebook for life. I talk a lot in tennis. They have these unforced errors where you make stupid mistakes that cost you that. And life is going to give you troubles no matter what. But to me, if I follow my Bible and do what it tells me, then hopefully I'm not going to be making some of the boneheaded mistakes. You ever seen people that they can't get out of their own way?
Yes.
It's like, what are you doing? They make one mistake after another. And in my mind, a lot of times I'm like, look, if you were living biblically, you wouldn't be making these kind of mistakes because it is a pretty solid guidebook for just general guidance on how to live kind of a drama-free life. You're going to get drama anyway. Life is going to be throwing turd sandwiches at you right and left.
Of course.
That's just the way it goes. But to me, I like to live that way. And then it's called faith. That's it. I don't think it's ever going to be proven to you. You have hope that it all exists. You hope that when you die, you go to heaven or there's a better place. There's something to it. I wouldn't say that I know, though, everything, and I don't know that you're supposed to know. So I've got...
Yeah, I don't think you are supposed to know.
I got a lot more questions. Look, I got doubts. I got a lot of issues myself.
But that's faith.
Yeah, and that's what it is. But, the one thing that I have seen, because I do hang out, I got pastor friends and hang out at church a lot and talk to that. My family was very religious. There would be these stories that would come up, and every now and then I've seen them, too, and it's just like what she sent in the email where you're like, okay, it all could be coincidence, and it's kind of weird, but sometimes it's almost like a wink from God, just saying like, hey, I'm not going to completely reveal myself and remove all doubt because then there's no need for faith. But I will wink every now and then and kind of show you, all right, if you kind of look deeper, and a lot of times it's maybe something numerical. I've had pastor friends where they had a bill due, one of them, and it was odd. It was like $10,000 random dollars and change. And they had ordered some chairs they didn't have the money for. The chairs show up. The guy's like, I need this exact check. And they didn't have the money, not even a penny. And as they're walking out to get these chairs, somebody walks up and they said, you know what? God told me to write you this check. And I don't know why this number. And it was the exact number that they needed for the chairs.
Wow.
And you're just like, okay, those are the kind of things where you're like, and who knows what that is? You could
is it a wink?
You could call it God. Some people, you keep hearing people talk about the simulation now, where maybe everything's just really scripted out. I don't know what it is, but there are things like that you're just like, okay, I think there's a lot more to it. I don't think we know, but it is kind of odd how it all goes. And Tim Tebow has this one thing where I remember, because I'm a Steelers fan, he didn't have a great NFL career, but he had this one game where he was a quarterback for the Denver Broncos, and he was playing my Steelers, and he was playing lights out. I'm like, where did this come from? This Tebow guy's sucked every game, of course, when he takes on my Steelers. And he wound up beating them, and he had really good stats. And he didn't realize at the time, but I saw him in a podcast, and he talked about the numbers of this. Remember, he would wear the John 3:16 or wear Bible verses on his eye black.
Yes.
He was very open about his faith, and he would pray and things like that. Well, after the game, the stat guy said, there's some interesting numbers here. I know you're a man of faith you might want to look at.
We play this game and we win in overtime. I still think it's the fastest overtime in NFL history. And we win right before I walk in this big room packed full of media. Patrick, our PR guy, there steps in front of me. He said, Timmy, do you realize what happened? And I'm like, yeah, we just beat the Steelers. We're going to play the Patriots. He's like, yeah, I know what happened, dude. Like, why'd you ask me such a silly question? Then he goes, no, do you know what happened? I'm like, I thought I did. Patrick, what happened? He said, Timmy, no, you don't know what happened. Timmy, it's exactly 3 years from the night that you wore John 3:16 under your eyes. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. And he said, no, you don't realize it. Timmy, during the game, you threw for 316 yards. And I'm like, what? And he said, Timmy, during the game, your yards per rush were 3.16. Your yards per completion were 31.6. The ratings for the night were 31.6. And the time of possession was 31.6. And during the night, over 90 million people have Googled John 3:16. It's the #1 trending thing all over. I don't think I had the reaction that a lot of people think I did, because I went from a high and a celebration and a joy to a conviction and a disappointment.
Why?
Because when he was telling me that, I knew that God was convicting me, saying, Timmy, you thought tonight was about a game. You thought it was about all of these things. It's never just about a game. I didn't die for a game.
So, you know, those kind of numbers, and you say, well, it could be coincidence.
Are all those numbers real? You
I would
looked
imagine.
at it.
You
Time of possession.
You can go and look them up. They would be listed right now. If you think Tim Tebow is just spitting out nothing but lies.
I love Tim Tebow. I think he is just an iconic man, especially for what he's doing now to end human trafficking. Mm-hmm. But I do want to fact check those numbers.
I would imagine it is, because that clip's been around a good bit. And if any of that was not legit, people would have blown up the spot and been like, come on, Tim, like this isn't that isn't this. So yeah, you can go back and check.
I love it.
And if it is legit, yeah, it is an interesting coincidence that all that happens.
Yeah.
And some people would just be like, yeah, you had 8 different things all lined up to 316. So what? You know, and so some people will still dismiss it and say you can find coincidences in anything, or you can twist numbers and make this, and you can. And so I understand that argument, because I think people either want to believe and have faith, or you don't. And I think at some point you have to give up control and be like, I'm going to go all in on this, or you're not. And that's just what separates, I think, believers from non-believers, is you say, you know what? I don't know for sure. I'm never going to get concrete proof, but I've seen enough, and I want to live that lifestyle and have that kind of joy, that I'm going to go all in. And that's what it comes down to. So,
and a lot of it, too, is just how you're raised.
you know, yeah, a lot of people really do. I think it's maybe 80% of people, they typically gravitate towards what they were raised in. But I think, honestly, I think everybody should think for themselves. I kept it very open with my kids, and I wanted them to find their own faith and find their own passion. And, you know, my daughter, Caitlin, could not be any more on fire for the Lord right now. And I'm very proud, but she found that on her own. And she got to go wander off and do her little things and have her
Rumspringa.
Yeah, and do all that kind of stuff. And then she just, you know, life was not going the way she wanted it to. And she's like, I just want to go down a different path. I'm like, well, you have another one. You can take it. And she has, and, you know, it's worked out well for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. So I hope you find at least nothing else some comfort. And that's the one thing that a lot of times faith and religion does, is it does provide comfort. Because look, man, this world is really, it's scary, man.
Being human is weird.
It is.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Horrifying at times.
Yeah.
And a little faith can give you comfort. And don't you want a little comfort?
Well, because you just feel like you're out. Otherwise, you're just standing out there all alone taking arrows. And
right.
There's just so much evil and so many things that can take you out that you're like, I hope somebody cares about me. Somebody's protecting me. And, you know, look, bad things can still happen to you. And I think it's about God's will. But sometimes maybe God would intervene and be like, okay, you know, yes. It's kind of like a parent. Sometimes when you know, your kids ask you, you're like, I'm a hard no matter what you say. But there might be a few things that if they ask, and they ask nicely or persistently in a good way, you may be like, all right, I'll give it and let that happen to you. You know, I think maybe that's what happens with prayer and sometimes things like that.
Yeah.
We're all right, I'll give you this one. You get it, since you asked so nicely.
And since you're a cute little sheep.
Yes, that's it.
You wandered away from the flock, I'll bring you back.
Talking about things that are evil, and this is a crazy story. You'd sent me this, and I'd seen this a couple days ago. Charles Manson, which a lot of people probably, unless you're a little bit older, you don't know anything about this dude. But, man, this guy just had a crazy face. He tattooed a swastika on his forehead. He had a bunch of crazy followers that had gone in. And
murderous rampage.
Yes, right.
Many times. Like, these guys were bad, and there was a gaggle of them. Yeah,
and just when you really thought of evil incarnate, Charles Manson was a face that came up so often. And they do jailhouse interviews with him. He's got to be bad, and he'd say weird stuff, and you just tell, like, this dude is not, he does not have it together. And this filmmaker, Sophia Maddox, she discovered through a DNA test that her biological grandfather is Charles Manson.
Oh, my gosh. We didn't talk about this?
Yeah. It was Sharon Tate and 6 others that his crew had murdered. And I remember as a kid, we were visiting my grandparents in southern West Virginia. And I think it's Squeaky Fromm was her name, something like that.
Yes.
She escaped from that prison. It was a half-mile away.
Oh, my gosh.
And we're in some dumpy-ass West Virginia motel, and I was so freaked out all night long. I thought Squeaky Fromm was coming through my window. I don't think I slept a second. It was terrifying.
Horrifying.
So, I mean, it was in my head. It was in a lot of people's head. So, yeah, apparently there's striking physical resemblances between her dad, who I guess he never knew his biological father and didn't know the story as well. I guess it's maybe some kind of offshoot of the Manson tree, and that's how she went without knowing. But then I think they also made a conscious choice to be like, they changed the name, the last name, and they tried to distance themselves as much as they could because go figure, Manson had negative connotations. But that'd be kind of wild, man. I'm telling you, these DNA tests, what that opens up for you.
Yeah.
How do you think you would react if you found out that your true grandfather was some kind of serial killer or a truly evil man?
I don't know if I'd be strong enough to make a documentary out of it.
Well,
I would want to make a secret out of it and not tell anybody.
You would at least be like, if you're a filmmaker, be like, people gonna watch this.
I would have a tough time grappling with that because I think a big part of who you are is who your parents were and then who their parents were. And do you have the same blood pumping through you that they had pumping through them? And whatever made Charles Manson such a terrible monster, is that in you?
Sure, and that's where she's going down that path of, is it, it's nature versus nurture. And is this inner DNA, is there something in there that's wired to have that kind of evil gene? I would imagine not.
But you don't know.
But you don't know. Absolutely. If you want to check it out, it's going to be on Hulu next Wednesday, the 22nd. You can check out this My Grandfather, Charles Manson. Are you going to watch it?
I think I might watch it. I'm scared, but I'll watch it like into the daylight.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to watch it at nighttime. Because it's real, man.
I don't know
it's
how
heavy.
y'all watch that stuff. Because, yeah, honestly, I do. And like I said, I just went on my face stuff. My mom was very sensitive to that stuff. I told you that we'd be in situations and she'd be like, we need to get out of here. Like, I feel the presence of something evil. And she was very in tune. She typically was right. And I think sometimes I've been in that situation where I've been around somebody. I'm like, they just have terrible vibes coming off them. And it may not even be anything spiritual. It just may be that biologically, animals look at us and they're like, that looks like somebody might take me out.
Right.
That's
they
just
want to
a
do me
survival
harm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
sometimes you
so
get that
real.
vibe.
I believe in that, and I believe in juju and auras, and I think as you meet people and you move through life, not everybody wants good things for you, and if you listen to your intuition, it'll tell you. You'll feel in moments, okay, I don't like this person, and it may just be that your subconscious knows they're out to get you.
Right, absolutely.
When I was in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, I went to the Museum of Death.
Well, that sounds like a cheery place.
Well, I went because I wanted to tell Jay Bird all about it because I feel like it's a place he would really
Why do you love death so much?
enjoy.
You love death. You cannot wait to jump down on death. Of course you went to the Death Museum.
I was shook.
What is it? Do you have an odd fascination with it? Because you take everything to death super fast.
A lot of it was interesting, fascinating. There was animals, and there was this, and there was that. And then we get to one section that was mass murderers. And it was a unredacted photo of the Charles Manson crime scene with pregnant Sharon Tate.
Uncensored? Is that what you're saying? It wasn't blocked? There wasn't
No
any kind
blocked
of
out.
It wasn't blurred?
No blurred, no pixelation,
Yeah.
no redactions, nothing.
And she was pregnant at the time?
pregnant
Right.
at the time.
That's even, wow.
It's the picture. And it's right there. There's autopsy photos that I didn't know existed. There's a whole section of mass murderers with their writings and photographs and journals and pictures of the crime scenes that I've never seen, that I was just like, whoa, we got to get out of here. But that Sharon Tate photo that I saw is burned into my brain. I will never be able to get that out of my brain.
Yeah. That's why I don't even look at that stuff, because you're right. Once it's in your head, you ain't getting that out.
I didn't know it was going to go that deep.
I don't need that stuff.
That Museum of Death in New Orleans is no joke.
You sound like you're shocked that you went into the Death Museum and saw death.
I shouldn't have gone that deep. In retrospect, I kind of think it was a bad choice.
Well, it's what we're known for. Your bad choices are the most exciting ones. You realize that.
Look, if you're a softie, don't do it. But if you like to dance with that hard stuff,
yeah.
Museum of Death in New Orleans in the French Quarter.
All right, there you go. If you've had enough drinking and thrown up your guts, go check out some death.
It delivers death.
Well, hopefully we'll have a bird back tomorrow. We're really looking forward to it to close out the week here. Just a couple of days left. Thank you all for those emails, man. All kinds of stuff you guys send us. We go any direction. You just hit us up with it. Mail at KVJShow.com. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.